Testing, testing. Okay, so this demo is going to go through the development of some of the individual component diagrams you guys are going to develop in Revit. And so what we're going to be looking at is essentially, if I go through and I'll just use the show command, I went through and right now, and I've diagrammed some of these things. You saw the initial diagram where I did the Vitruvian man sort of diagram. And here I've actually gone through the other axis and diagrammed some of the things, only looking at the arm specifically. And so for each individual component, I'm going to also be doing this. So I'll do this for the leg, and I'll do this for the head, and I'll do this for the arm. And I'm just going to show how to do this for the arm. So I've already got this thing developed in Revit, and I'm just going to go through, close these, and go into the family for right arm moving. And so what I've done here is I have imported these each in and gotten them all aligned. And I'm going to go through and just show you, as you import each thing, I have an entity for the hands because that's, for whatever reason, Revit gets really upset with these particular sets of geometries. So these are all DXFs. Then the moving arms, these are also DXFs. This is a separate DXF file for the hand, and this is actually a SAT file, so I have solids for the actual arm. And it would be ideal if I had solids for the hand, and you could just, if everything is working properly for your machine, then you can do this as one. If I hold control here, you should, the intent here would be to do this as one entity, one SAT file. As you guys are importing each one of these things, you need to pay attention to your object styles. So if you hit Object Styles, Imported from the Manage tab, I had to go through after each import. So there's a total of 4 imports, one for each for the hands and the arms. And then we go in through here. I've gone through and renamed. I imported the 2 hands first. The solids. So the solid arm and then the right hand. And I made sure that those things were separate, and I renamed those categories so that when I imported the other pieces of geometry, which came in as arm, I could just toggle that and change that to something else. Once I had these 3 set up, then I was good to go. You don't necessarily need to get everything set up in the family, because you're going to end up editing that in the actual project itself. But you do need to make sure that each one of these things is a separate entity here. Alright, so we'll go ahead and hit cancel out of this. Then what you would do once you have everything rigged up in this is load this into the project. And we'll just hit cancel because this is what it's going to look like. Then what I did is, if you create a 3D view, right, you just click the little house, that's going to create a 3D view. We can create multiples of that. If you just select this view and then right click, you can duplicate that view. And so then we can come in here and we can adjust the view. And so what we're going to do is we'll go through and set up an actual object style here. Or sorry, not the object styles, but a view template for this particular set of features. So we only have to do this once, again, just we're going to be using our view templates. So if we click on the view template for this particular view, you can see I've already set one up, but I'm going to go ahead and just base it off of one of these, so I'll show you guys how to customize each one of these. So, robot Axon. 2. Okay, so you have Robot Axon 2, and we'll set the view scale is 1/8 inch, that's fine. Let's go in here and let's go into the imported categories. And you'll note that it has all the stuff in here from what we had before. So I'm going to go ahead and toggle all the stuff that doesn't relate to what it is that we're doing. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit, we haven't edited anything. Then I'm going to go ahead and adjust the, I don't need the head either, the override for this. Set the weight to 1, set the color to, I'm going to do a lighter gray. And then I'm going to set the line style to, let's do hidden at 16 scale. Hit OK, hit apply, hit OK. Alright, so that's not going to do anything at this point because we haven't actually applied it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to apply that view template to this. Okay, and we zoom out, you can see that it's actually applied the line weights. I selected everything appropriately and turned off everything that I needed to turn off. Then I have some other stuff in here that I need to deal with. So if we come back over here, overrides for the model, probably done for that for at least for a second here. Shadows, it's giving us cast shadows on this edge, so we're going to turn those off. Hit OK, hit apply. So now we've gotten that taken care of. And the model display, this is where we're going to change some of the features here that you want to pay attention to. So we're going to change this to just be hidden line. And if we hit apply, Now we just have a set of line drawings. And then we can come over here. You want to smooth the lines for anti-aliasing. So if we hit apply, you'll see that that gets nice and smooths that line set out. And then silhouettes, whenever you guys are doing drawings, like say if you have a plan and you want to show where the cut is, you always make that line weight a little bit heavier. This is where you do it, is through the silhouettes in the model display. And so if we come in here and say set this to hidden, you can see that it's going to go through and dash out the actual edges of this thing. So you can start to simulate some different features as you guys are going through it. So we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to use wide lines because you generally want to punctuate that so we can actually see it. Alright, let's hit OK. Let's hit apply. Alright, and so now we have these line weights here in our part, and it's pretty heavy for the tooling here. So let's go to our Manage tab and see if I can remember where. Additional settings areas. What we're going to do is we're going to adjust the line weights. And so this is an 1/8 inch scale drawing. So if we go under 1/8, I'm going to set one of these guys that maybe I wouldn't use so often. We'll set line weight 10 to be something really, really thin. So we'll set this to 0.25, I think is the smallest we'll go. Hit apply. Okay, so that's going to set line weight 10 for that. So now what we can do is, if we go back into our view template, in here for this, we can set our line weight, our weight to 10, hit OK, and then hit apply, and then we can really lighten that up. Okay, so that's going to be how you guys are going to set up each individual component that you have that's a moving component. And then we can come down here and let's just create a new sheet. Take this and just dump it in. Maybe. Oh. Yeah. So it's going to give us a bunch of extra stuff that we don't need, right? So now we have to go through the typical scrolling down here. We want to crop the view, we want to see the crop region, and we want to crop the annotations as well. So if I double click to activate that view, I can grab that, and now I can crop this out. Now I'm going to move this into position. And that's actually a little bit small, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back into my view template and I'm going to change the scale on this to go to 3/16. That's looking better. Double click to get off. Select. See if I know there's an order that I have to select these in. There we go. Now I can grab this. Alright, and then we will rename this view. Looks like something happened to our line weight, so let's, oops, and that went too far. Control tab to cycle back. To activate this view. Alright, so we need to go back into our import settings. And because we changed the scale, it's now using line weight 10 from the 3/16 scale, so we need to go back and adjust that. Manage additional settings, line weights. Sure, we'll save the project. Alright, so now we gotta find 3/16. Which isn't in here. That's handy. I'll tell you what, let's just change all of these. What's the next scale up? It's probably using quarter then. 0.025. Hit apply. 0.025. Apply. There we go. Alright. Alright, and so that's going to be how you guys can set up some nice line diagrams in there. Let's just go through and make sure our sheet looks good. Well, while we're in this view, we can turn off the crop. Well, we definitely want to crop view, we'll just turn that off. So, we'll turn on our sheets. Our movement, and you can see how we can then do the leg movement next. Okay.